Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk Start Collecting Kings of War Ambush. This is a brand new type of game for Kings of War, focusing on entry-level games. Now, in this video, we're going to look at the Empires of Dust Army box set. This is a great way to get started with your ambush army for Kings of War. Now, we're going to talk about all the units inside the box set and what they do on the tabletop. We'll then take a look at some other units we can use to expand upon this initial box set to give us a little bit of a fuller army. At the end of the video, we'll do a little sample 750-point army list to give you some inspiration for getting started in Kings of War Ambush using the Empire of Dust. So, let's begin. First of all, we get 40 skeleton infantry. These are brand new plastic sculpts from Mantic. They look really cool, and these can be built in a variety of different ways. First of all, you can build them as your base skeleton warriors with their hand weapons and shields, or you can choose to build them as either skeleton spearmen or skeleton archers. There's enough pieces in the kit to be building as many of each one that you want to do. Now, each of these units has their own sort of unique rules. The skeleton warriors have life leech, and all the skeletons do, and we've got life leech as generally a thing mostly throughout the army, so we'll talk about it now. What the rule life leech allows you to do is when this unit completes its to hit and to damage rolls in melee combat, it regains 1 point of damage it has previously suffered for every point of damage it causes on the enemy unit, up to a maximum of N, although life leech will always cap at a maximum total of 3. So we've got all these life leech 1 on these base units here. We then have the shambling rule as well on a bunch of our skeleton units. This means we can't be given the at the double movement order except when carrying out a scout move at these. Now, the different thing we've got here, we've got the spearmen will have the phalanx rule. This stops enemies being able to use the thunderous charge special rule against us, which is really fun. And in addition, cavalry, large cavalry units, and units with the fly special rule that make an unhindered charge against this unit's front suffer a -1 to hit modifier in the subsequent melee. So pretty good at defending against the charge. A nice defensive unit are your spearmen. Your skeleton warriors generally will move up and do most of your fighting, and then you have your skeleton archers as well, which are going to have 24-inch bow weapons that they're going to be able to use with their attack value. Now, we've got some good, solid cavalry in the box set as well in 10 Revenant Cavalry. If you want, you can also build these models as skeleton archer cavalry. How you would need to do this is you have to take the bows from your skeleton warriors and just simply put them onto your skeleton cavalry. It's pretty simple to do. You can see at the top left, they've easily done this with their own kit. Now, Revenant Cavalry are a nice unit. They've got Life Leech 1 Shambling, and they have Thunderous Charge themselves. What Thunderous Charge does is all melee hits inflicted by this unit have a +N modifier when rolling to damage. This bonus is in addition to the unit's crushing strength, if any. However, the unit loses this bonus when it's disordered, and reduces its bonus by 1 when hindered to a minimum of 0. So they've got Thunderous Charge 2, so they're going to be able to add +2 modifier to them, which is really nice. We then have the Skeleton Archer Cavalry, once again with Life Leech 1 and Shambling, like all of our skeleton units. But they also have the Nimble keyword rule as well, which is really cool. What Nimble will allow them to do is the unit can make a single extra pivot of 90 degrees around its center when executing a movement order, including a charge. It cannot make this extra pivot when ordered to halt. When disordered by a unit in melee with either the Phalanx or Ensnare special rule, this unit loses the Nimble special rule, however. Now, we've got these short bows on them with 18-inch, and they also have steady aim with this rule as well. The unit does not suffer any penalties from the -1 penalty modifier for moving and making ranged attacks. Then the last model we get inside this box is a Cursed High Priest on horse, our hero for the box set. This model has a variety of different unit options. It has both the individual and the inspiring special rules. Inspiring is going to be really important because this is just going to allow us to get some extra bonuses to our units. If this unit or any friendly core unit within 6 inches of it suffers a rout result, the opponent must re-roll the nerve test. The second result, however, would stand. Now, we've also got the ability to take a bunch of different option upgrades. We can take the Undead Horse, which obviously our model here is modeled with. We've got a variety of different spells. I think Surge is pretty much a given what we can take on some of our other units. We'll talk about that in the army list at the end. But we've also got the Reanimator rule where for each other friendly core skeleton unit within 6 inches, you can reroll 1 dice that failed to hit with Drain Life, Fireball, Heal Hex, Surge, Weakness, and Wind Blast up to a maximum of 2 rerolls for this wizard. But looking at where to go next, the Empire of Dust have a ton of new kits that have come out from Mantic, and some of them are really cool and made in brand new hard plastic. First of all, we have the Sandborn Worm Riders. These have the Crushing Strength 1 rule. This is going to allow them to have all hits caused by melee attacks from this unit have a +M modifier when rolling to damage. So pretty cool there. They've got Life Leech 2, which is nice, and the Pathfinder rule as well. What Pathfinder will do is the unit suffers no movement penalties for difficult terrain, simply treating it as open terrain in the movement phase. Pathfinder units are not hindered when making a charge as well through difficult terrain. This unit's got a nice speed of 7, so they're really fast as well, which is pretty good for a large cavalry unit to be this fast and to be able to move through terrain and stuff like that. Now, we also have other options like the Revenant Chariots. It's a chariot unit, and they've got the Brutal rule as well. What Brutal will do is, when testing the nerve of an enemy unit in melee with one or more of your units with this rule, add the highest Brutal end value to the total roll, which is Brutal just 1. Life Leech 1, Shambling, and Thunderous Charge on them as well, and they can purchase Cursed Bows as well on the unit if they so want to. We then have the Enslaved Guardians. These are one of the large infantry unit options we've got available to the army. They have Crushing Strength 2, Life Leech 1, and Shambling as well. They can also choose to take a Casket of the Damned like many of our other infantry units, which is really nice. And then we have the Balefire Catapult, one of the different artillery pieces, war engines we've got for the army. Now, this has a nice cool Balefire 40-inch range blast D3+1. It ignores Obscured, it's indirect firing, and it has the Piercing 2 and Reload rules. It's Unholy Flames. Whenever the unit rolls damage with its Balefire attack, it can reroll the D3 of the dice that failed to damage, and it's also got the option to be upgraded with Scarab Jars, gaining Shattering with Balefire attacks for +10 points on it as well. And so, here we have our little sample army list for you. Now, we've got with the way that Ambush works, we've got to take units to unlock a bunch of other things like monsters, like our heroes and stuff like that. So we've got one regiment in the army, which is Skeleton Warriors, and that's taken the Casket of the Damned. The Casket of the Damned is a special upgrade available only to the Empires of Dust. And what it does is allows once per game when this unit is targeted by the Surge spell, you can roll an additional 6 dice which count towards the total Surge result. This must be declared before rolling the dice for the spell, and the unit's Casket of Damned is then destroyed and cannot be used again for the remainder of the battle. So really good on our larger unit. We then have a troop unit of Skeleton Spearmen, Skeleton Archers, Revenant Cavalry, Skeleton Archer Cavalry, and we've chosen to take the Sandborn Worm Riders. I think they're just really cool models and they add a lot to your army, giving you a nice fast-moving, heavy-hitting piece. We then have our hero, who's going to be our Cursed High Priest, mounted on the undead horse that he's modelled with, and we've gone for Fireball just for a nice little bit of ranged magic, really cool to learn how to play with, and just use some magic as some offensive power in your early games, and then Surge as well. I think this is just super important. It works really well with the undead here, so it's just going to allow you to get so much more off with the rest of your spells. What Surge will do is you can cast it on a friendly unit that's shambling only, and for each hit the target friendly shambling unit moves straight forward a full inch of contact for friendly units and blocking terrain if applicable. Now, if the movement brings it into contact with an enemy unit, you treat this as a successful charge. However, the charge unit will not take any nerve tests. And then you can also just do a bunch of other stuff. This is just great for just being able to push your units across the table. Really cool, fun stuff. Now, we are 745 out of 750 points here. We've got 6 regiments and troops, and we've unlocked 1 unit because we unlocked our hero. We can't take that standard. We have to take troops and regiments to be able to unlock it. If you've been playing with the Empire of Dust in Kings of War, let us know how you've been going, what your favourite units are, and what you would do with the Empire of Dust army box to get started in your ambush armies. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, come and join our Discord and join in the conversation there. We chat all things wargaming and other things besides as well. If you'd like to do that, you can come join via the descriptions linked to the server. Now, also linked down in the video's description is the best ways to support the channel via Patreon or YouTube members, or indeed grabbing some merch from our merch stores on either Teespring or on Ko-fi. As a special thank you to everyone who does support the channel on Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So, thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Alder and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising 8, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Aaron DeHaven, Kevin Bowman, and Iron Grinch. And a special thank you to our YouTube members Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Man Killer, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, and James South. Lastly, a special thank you to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel as well. Couldn't do this without you. Thank you all to everyone for watching once again. Don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment down below. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.